All right, let's dive right into this. We're talking about a really powerful framework for transforming your life, especially as we look ahead. If you've ever felt like the old rules just don't really apply anymore, well, this breakdown is definitely for you.
I mean, let's be honest, for a lot of us, it feels like we're just pawns in this huge, complex financial game that just seems, well, rigged. We're living in a world that's flooded with cheap money, and it feels like the whole system is set up to benefit a select few, while the rest of us are just trying to keep our heads above water. It's this feeling that the world outside is just spinning out of our control.
But what if the real source of power isn't about trying to change that world out there, but about fundamentally changing our world in here? This quote from Dr. Joe Dispenza, it's really the key. Think about it. It's suggesting that the person we are right now, that's the biggest thing holding us back.
And that right there is the big idea we're exploring today. What if instead of feeling like victims of our circumstances, we could become the conscious creators of our own reality? This explainer is basically a blueprint to do just that, and it pulls together some amazing ideas from neuroscience, trading psychology, and even high-level entrepreneurship.
So here's how we're going to walk through this. First, we'll look at the machine we're trying to reprogram, the old you versus the new you. Then we'll dive into 3 incredibly powerful habits. And finally, we'll show you how it all connects to make you the architect of your own future.
All right, let's start with step 1, the old you versus the new you. Now, the most crucial point here is to really get how your personal reality is created. See, it doesn't just happen to you, it actually happens through you. So according to Dr. Joe Dispenza, this thing he calls your state of being, that's the engine that's generating the life you experience every single day. It's a constant feedback loop, right? Your thoughts create feelings, those feelings drive your actions, and those actions create your reality, which then just reinforces your original thoughts. Your personality literally creates your personal reality.
Now check this out, because the contrast here is everything. Most of us, most of the time, are living in what's called a survival state. We're basically addicted to the stress hormones of our past emotions, the anger, the fear, the guilt, and we're just constantly reacting to everything around us. The goal is to shift into a creation state, where your inner world is actually more real than your outer world. A state where you are consciously causing an effect, not just responding to one.
So the big question is, how do we actually make that shift? Well, that brings us to our very first habit, master your being. This is the practical, hands-on strategy for rewiring your brain and your body to live in that creation state. Dispenza's argument is that to create a new future, you first have to completely disconnect from your past. He says you have to release what he calls the big 3 that define your old self: your body with all its memorized emotions, your external environment and all its triggers, and your linear focus on time. When you let go of these, you're not a defined personality anymore. You become pure consciousness, totally open to all possibilities.
And this is where the magic happens. It's in this state that you can actually give thanks and feel the elevated emotions of the future you want. Things like gratitude, joy, abundance, before they even happen. See, your body doesn't know the difference between a real experience and one you just vividly imagine. So by feeling the future now, you are literally reprogramming your body and mind to match that new reality. It's a game changer. But just a heads up, be prepared for a fight. Your body has become chemically addicted to your old emotional states. So the moment you decide to stop feeling guilty or angry or whatever it is, your cells are going to send these powerful signals to your brain, trying to get you to go back to what's familiar. That is the moment of truth, where you have to consciously choose your future over your past.
Okay, so you've started to master your internal world. That's amazing. But you still have to go out and operate in the messy, unpredictable external world, right? And for that, you need a totally new mental model.
This comes from trading psychologist Mark Douglas, who says that most of our suffering comes from what he calls a certainty mindset. We have this deep need to be right, and we're terrified of being wrong, which makes us super emotionally volatile. The shift is to a probabilistic mindset, where you just accept that you can't possibly know the outcome of any single event, but you can play the odds in your favor over time.
And honestly, the best way to get this is to think like a casino. I mean, a casino has absolutely no idea if the very next hand of blackjack is going to be a win or a loss. If it obsessed over every single outcome, it would be a complete emotional wreck. But here's the thing, the casino doesn't care about any single hand. Why? Because it knows that over thousands and thousands of hands, its small statistical edge will absolutely guarantee a profit. This approach totally neutralizes the emotional risk. You stop seeing failures as these personal attacks, and you start seeing them as just data points in a bigger game that you are ultimately designed to win.
Now we're talking.
We have the right internal state, we have the right mental model, so now it's time to translate all of that into real-world results. This is where we bridge that gap between who you are and what you actually do.
Entrepreneur Alex Hormozi champions something he calls the Rule of 100. The idea couldn't be simpler, but it is so effective. Just commit to a high volume of a specific action. Make 100 cold calls. Post 100 pieces of content. Knock on 100 doors. The volume itself is what forces you to learn and pretty much guarantees you'll get results.
And this quote just connects so perfectly back to that probabilistic mindset, doesn't it? You don't know which call will be the winner or which video is going to go viral, but you know that if you roll that die enough times, you are absolutely guaranteed to hit a winning streak. Massive action is simply how you increase your sample size.
But, and this is a big but, massive action is not about blind hustle. It's a scientific process. Hormozi teaches that you have to find the weakest link in your process, the constraint where most people drop off. Then, just test one small change every week, measure the result, and repeat. This is how you systematically, intelligently improve your odds over time.
So, how do these 3 powerful habits actually come together to forge a new you? Let's connect all the dots right now.
It's this beautiful, powerful feedback loop. First, you master your internal being. That's habit 1, freeing yourself from the emotions of the past. This allows you to adopt a probabilistic mindset, which is habit 2, where you're no longer afraid of failure. That mindset then empowers you to take massive, intelligent action, habit 3. And then crucially, the results of your actions, the small wins, the things you learn, they reinforce your new identity, making your new state of being even stronger. You see how it works?
So look, this is no longer about just wishing or hoping for a better life. This is a systematic process for becoming a new person who, in turn, creates a new reality. The blueprint is right here. So the only question left is, what future are you going to choose to build?